So, it is a beautiful Sunday evening here in Auckland. Sorry, Sunday evening. Getting my days mucked up. It is a beautiful Monday evening here in Auckland. Sun is shining and heading to the 7:30 p.m. Nogi class, which I wasn't intending on attending today. But recently flipped over to a comprehensive membership, like a all classes included membership. So just trying to make use of the fees I'm paying and get to class and train a little bit more. One thing I've been thinking about a little bit lately is I remember when I first started training, and I would train all the time, and I had a lot of fun, and I didn't really burn out until I started getting injuries and stuff. But I would train all the time, and I would train really hard, and I would be able to recover. And in the last couple of years, I'm coming into my prime. I'm not old by any means, but in the last couple of years, I've noticed just a decline in my body's ability to recover without kind of like manual intervention, meaning, before when I was a bit younger, I'd kind of recover by default just by being young and sprightly. Now I'm in my 30s, getting on a little bit, again, kind of just coming into my prime. But the recovery has to be a little bit more intentional. I have to focus on sleep, focus on stretching, focus on eating appropriately for my gut, and I think I mentioned sleep already, but yeah, just have to think about these things a little bit more consciously. And I'm lucky now. I work a pretty physically chill job, and I'm not on shift work anymore. But I've just been thinking a little bit lately, and the days where I don't want to train, I kind of just have to remind myself that I don't have any kids yet. I don't have any kind of major life commitments that prevent me from training. And at the moment, despite some kind of relatively annoying gut health issues, actually I've still got all of my faculties. I got no injuries at the moment, no major injuries that are preventing me from training. Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not always going to be able to have the luxury of the option to train. I think I know that day is coming someday, sooner than later, where I'm not going to have the option to train nearly as much as I have the ability to now. So as the old saying goes, I've got to make hay while the sun shines, and there's plenty of hay to be made, I suppose. I don't know. And the sun is certainly shining, so I'm just pulling up to training now. We'll update later. Alrighty, first and only roll recorded of the night. Had 4 or 5 this evening, and this was my first. And straight into some leg entanglements and things like that. I'm rolling with Professor Noel here. I think I mentioned in a previous video, Noel was one of my first teachers and is still currently my sort of main teacher. He went for a toe hold there. I tried my best to straighten my leg and point my foot just to add some pressure. And instead of resisting against the toe hold when he's got all the leverage, kind of point my foot almost for him. I don't know if that's a good defense or not, but it kind of almost goes with it to give me a bit of control over the tension. Noel's got a deep half here. Again, I'm just trying to get some kind of control. He backwards rolls out of it and now sitting in a nice spot, getting some top pressure, controlling my feet, which prevents me from moving around. We did bottom side half guard techniques this evening, so I'm just trying to work some here, and almost had an opportunity to. Looking here for octopus, not something that I know, and you can probably see that by watching, but yeah, managed to get on top. I think that's just because Noel was mostly focused on making sure there were no clashes. But here, just trying to control that far side foot of his to see if I can get out, and Noel ends up taking my back, which is good. My mission here is just to get out of the hooks and get my back flat to the mat, which I succeed in doing, so he's no longer got my back and I'm relatively safe here. I like this kind of like a pseudo crucifix kind of position here, using my shin on the inner arm. It's almost a crucifix but not quite, and it's really just a staging position or a control position. Sometimes I can get triangles from here, but most people are pretty wise to it now, so it's pretty difficult to hit. Just trying to keep some pressure there. Went for a back step, and like I mentioned in my last video, back step looks nice, feels okay, and doesn't always yield good results. Position was immediately reversed, and now I've got Noel on top of me, which if you've ever trained with Noel, you know it's not a nice experience. Here I've got some kind of a knee shield in, trying to use it to off balance him, but my arm is in danger here. He's got a perfect Kimura grip here and a perfect control. His leg there on my lower back, I will replay that, but his, I think it was his right calf against my lower back was preventing me from putting my back on the ground, which would have helped me defend against the Kimura there, but no luck. I think Noel's recently just got back from overseas, so he's a little bit tired and jet lagged, and that is my cue to take full advantage of his jet lag. Doesn't pay off, but I try my best. Trying here again with that top side half guard, trying to work that pressure passing again from the seminar, but I think I'm just missing something. I do have a near side underhook here, and I'm trying to look for that tripod passing. But to be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing or what went wrong there, so I think I'm going to add those two things to my to-do list. Went for the body lock here and just trying to isolate a single shin. He had the double butterflies, and I just tried to sprawl and get one, but I didn't sprawl enough, so I should have sprawled hips directly to the ground. Beautiful scissor sweep by Noel, and we're into a not sure what this position would be called, if anything, but it's kind of like a mirrored position where we've got the exact same grips on each other. It's maybe like a half 50-50, 25-25. I thought I was going to be able to ankle lock him here, but I mustn't have had enough leverage, and he's peeled my feet away and made it difficult for me to push against him. So ideally I'd be able to put one of the, I'd just have better grips than that, but wasn't able to push off against him enough. Not a good position here for me, but the roll's over, and had a few more after this too, 3 or 4 more rolls after this. Didn't manage to record them though, so short video tonight. Just a quick shout out to everyone who takes the time to clean the mats after class. Tonight, 2 people, 2 of the white belts offered to clean the mats, which is great. You know, I think it's a good rite of passage, maybe just when you're new, learning to take care of the facility and everything. I don't necessarily believe in like a rank hierarchy for cleaning. I personally just like to do it so that I know it's a good job, but also, like I said earlier, you know, I don't have kids and a family to get home to or people to take care of, so it's always nice, and it's a good cool down. Really enjoy this. Makes for some interesting B-roll too, maybe. Alrighty, just got finished training and on my way home now, and I don't really have much to say about training tonight other than I'm really glad that I got my gear on, won the mind battle, and got to training, which is really cool. And I got to see my mates and people that I love and love spending time with, and got to learn some cool stuff and got some good rolls in. So yeah, tonight was a really good night. Was feeling really fatigued and tired prior to training, and quite often I'll rely on that feeling to make me decide whether or not I'm going to actually end up even going to training, let alone spar. So I am really glad that I went to training tonight, pushed through the fatigue. I did a bit of bag work as well. I haven't touched the bag in probably a year. Just some low kicks, and did about 20 each leg, and then did 5 minutes on the assault bike as well, just little intervals. Feeling good, body's feeling good, and I'm putting that down to a lot of the mobility work that I've been doing at the moment. One thing that I've learned recently that just really rings true with me, and is something that I've experienced, and I'm grateful to have experienced it, is burning out physically because of, I think on the way to training, I was talking a bit about thinking about and talking about recovery, and how natural capacity for recovery, at least in my experience, has kind of simmered down a bit, and I'm finding it harder to recover. And I think a lot of that has got to do with the fact that I was doing jiu-jitsu and hammering calisthenics workouts while training a lot of jiu-jitsu, and the calisthenics workouts were like extremely high volume, a lot of weight, just a lot of volume, really. And so my body was constantly in a broken down state and getting really stiff, and I was getting strong, but it was just extremely stiff. So lately, what I've been focusing on is mobility, and I'm really grateful to have met Sergey from Power Surge Method. If you are stiff, if you are struggling with your body and your fitness, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting in touch with a coach or someone who's kind of done the study and done all of the hard yards. There's free material online, but there is, if you've got the money and you can afford to invest that money into yourself so that you can have someone program something for you specifically and help you track your progress, it's so worth it. Like, it's almost like for the first time in my life, having had such painful mobility issues, I'm talking like, I used to do Muay Thai, and I would do like a really heavy training, and then my hips would just be fried for days afterwards, just a lot of inflammation in the joint capsule. And I was thinking to myself, like, why is this happening? You know, surely I should be getting stronger from doing Muay Thai. And the reality is, for me, I neglected those muscles for such a long time. Those muscles being adductors, abductors, deep core and deep hip, internal, external rotators, lateral flexion, hip extension, deep hip flexion, like all of these muscles that you kind of don't use when you're sedentary, or in my case, I was very sedentary, but also my focus was just muscle gain and getting strong at the gym. Anyway, to cut a long story short, people might think that mobility work is just stretching, but really the whole thing is gradually lengthening the tissue and getting yourself into greater ranges of motion, and then getting strong in those ranges. So it's very much strength work. Like, I haven't touched a squat bar, and I haven't been under a squat bar in months and months and months and months. And I had a little squat session yesterday, and I felt strong. I was pushing 90 kegs for 5 or 6 reps, and feeling really good, and not feeling that femoral acetabular impingement that I've had previously, and not having knee pain, and it's just such a nice feeling. And so for anyone out there, if anyone is watching this, and if you find yourself struggling with stiffness or soreness at jiu-jitsu, I highly recommend just whatever you're doing at the gym, just stop it for a moment. Consider that what you're doing might not actually be helping you, and look into proper strength-based mobility work. and just get a coach, get a plan for a month, stick to the plan. I'm only doing 3 or 4 days a week of training. Stick to the plan and see what happens. And I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised. I am. Energy-wise, I don't feel great, but my body's actually finally starting to recover from sessions, and I'm able to train more, and it's just so nice. Even my best friends train at the gym, and my partner trains at the gym, and I don't see them as much as I want to. If I could, I would spend even more time with them than I do now. And because I haven't been training much with health stuff and with injuries and stiffness and everything, now that my mobility's kind of improved and I'm not suffering needlessly, I can actually go to more trainings, and I get to spend more time with those people, and I get to train more and spend more time kind of in the crucible, getting smashed and putting pressure and trying out technique and things like that. So more uptime. And I think that's a really underrated and underappreciated component of getting better, is just having more uptime. Time where you're not broken down and just falling apart. And anyway, that's enough for me. I'm gonna go shower because I got the sweat of like 20 people on me. I feel disgusting, I smell disgusting, and I'm sure no one is probably listening at this point anyway. So that's all from me. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you have a good night, day, wherever you are in the world. Peace. Take care.